Fans once again. Today we are in a recording and practice studio which is called Marpart in Świętochłowice, but you can't say that, in Poland. And we come here as a band to rehearse together all of the songs that are played by MIcHAeL's band. And for not just any reason, but because the owner of this place is one MIcHAeL, who is the drummer of a very well-known band in Poland called MIcHAeL, and also the ex-drummer of a band called Horoscope. Now, MIcHAeL in Polish translates to breasts in English. So I think it's quite obvious that if we have anything to do with a member who is coming from breasts, it's bound to be a deeply satisfying experience. And it is, because the atmosphere in this studio is something really totally unique. Everything here is made of wood. There's a bar and there's a fireplace, and we feel in this place as if we have gone on holiday in the mountains, and we're totally cut off from the outside world, enabling us to totally focus on what we're doing artistically. We bring our most expensive equipment here. We bring our drum kit, we bring our digital mixer, we bring our effects pedals, we bring our guitars, and we fine-tune every aspect of our performance in this place. We've completely set up every single individual setting on every microphone and every input to the mixer, so that when we do finally come out on stage and play for you guys, it is a performance which is at the standard of a band which is known all over Poland and abroad. Well, at least for the Poles who live abroad. So, if you don't know yet what our performance live looks like on the stage and sounds like on the stage, I kindly invite you now to click the first link of the two which are above this video, and you will see a concert performance of one of our songs where all the sound is mixed perfectly and all the lights are working in sequence with the songs because they have also been programmed perfectly. It still isn't a full representation of what a concert of MIcHAeL's band sounds like, looks like, smells like, tastes like and feels like. But it is the best representation that we can offer you given the technology that we have. So I hope you enjoy watching it.
Well, maybe I'll first start off with how we met as a band. A few years ago I was looking for a drummer for the band because my previous drummer was gone because he couldn't find time for what I was doing in the band. And I found this forum on Facebook which was called "I'm looking for a musician, I'm looking for a band Silesia." I posted a video announcement that I was looking for a drummer, and I got a lot of likes and positive comments on the subject, but only 2 drummers actually wrote back to me. One of them was already playing in a band, and unfortunately there wasn't even a first meeting. But the other one was Adam Niesłony, who is the current drummer. Now, Niesłony in Polish means not salty, like not salty as in one word. So what we say about Adam's surname is that it's not sweet, but it's not salty, kind of thing. So something like that. Anyway, so we met organizationally for the first time in a pub called Druid in Ruda Śląska. This is a very atmospheric pub. It has a nice stage at the back where lots of bands play when the summer season is on. And the music from this stage sounds really good because there's no internal room acoustics that would interfere with the sound of it. No noises, no bangs, and no reverberation. So at this meeting, it turned out that Adam is about 20 years older than me. But that didn't really bother me because that wasn't the point. You see, we could just get along. And when there's a situation when there's desire on both sides, because one is looking and the other is also looking, this works really well. Later, my then current bass player decided to leave the band because he also had other activities that he was more passionate about. And so Adam suggested that maybe I should cooperate with his bass player buddy and that he should join the band because he had been playing with him in other bands in the past. So this guy was MIcHAeL, who is now the bassist in the band. And he comes from quite a musical family because his father is a professional trumpeter. Well, we met in Druid for the second time, and it turned out again that Tomek is probably about 10 to 15 years older than me again. But it didn't really matter again, because what counted was simply that there was a bilateral desire and a friendly atmosphere to just get on with it and cooperate well. Tomek and Adam are both native Silesians who have lived in Ruda Śląska all their lives. And at our musical rehearsals, they mingle all the time, and I have to adapt to them also. What is interesting is actually my ancestors from my mother's family come from Ruda. Not from Ruda Śląska, but from Ruda. Because before there was Ruda Śląska, there were only a few small villages around, and one of them was called Ruda, and that's where my mother's family came from. And my mum speaks Silesian fluently, but even though she does, she never taught it to me during my entire upbringing in London. And so now, many years later, I learned from my musicians something about the culture of my ancestors, and my musicians learn a lot of different musical things from me. And here I would like to refute another myth that prevails in people's minds regarding solo artists and their collaboration in the band and what it looks like. You know, people tend to think that it's like a totalitarian dictatorship, you know, where the solo artist is the dictator and the rest of the band have to do exactly what he says. But it's not really like that. Yes, I am the main composer, and I write all the parts to all the instruments, and I write all the lyrics. But even when I do give these parts out to my musicians to play, it always comes out differently to how it was written in the first place. And that's a good thing, because this means that both of my members of my band, my drummer and my bassist, have some creative input in what's going on. But you know, so long as they don't do anything that's really different from what was intended, I'm okay with it. So let's say, you know, we have a very aggressive fragment of the song, and you know, some really romantic part comes from one of the instruments. Obviously the two don't match, so you know, I have an issue with that. And if my bassist or my drummer can't think of something that could replace their idea to make it more suitable, then they can always fall back on my ideas, which I wrote in the first place. There must be a plan B for everything in the band and for our performances. If a string breaks, there must be a spare one, or a spare guitar if something happens to it. If someone forgets a microphone or a cable, then there must be a spare one just in case. So there is space for everyone to show off in the band and have some creative input to every song, but my role is there really just to keep everything in some kind of organized whole and well-managed whole, otherwise it just falls apart. And as we play on stage, you can see this, you can hear it and you can feel it, that this is wonderful atmosphere where everyone feels good with each other, and this atmosphere just pours out to the audience. And as it is in our band, so it is at our concerts, that everyone feels free, so that they can be themselves, and there are no age or cultural or religious or gender restrictions in anything that we do. However, there is some kind of organization to keep everything all in check, because only when we all do something together and at the same time we are ourselves in doing it, then we feel needed and wanted, and that we are all part of a larger society. So this is the beautiful experience in everything that we do together. MIcHAEL's band and you, the fans, and our guests and the audience. And this is how we have fun on the stage, together. So now I invite you to watch our concert performance live on stage to get a little taste of what we mean. But again, this is just a little showcase of what we can do, like a little business card, you know. But if you want to have this real experience of a concert with us, then you really have to come to our concert.
Leaving it all behind, just to live in luxury.